What about that Chris Mugger
That's the
kid?
only person I seen competition with me back then.
What happened to him?
I haven't spoken to him in a little while, but supposedly he still could rap and doing his thing. He should have made it big, in my opinion. Like, he was impressive. The things that he was coming up with at that age was just like crazy. Like, we're 17, 18 at that time.
He reminded me of those old Joey Jihad freestyles back in the day. He had that kind of like temperament to it.
No, his wordplay was just crazy. Like, at that age, I'm like, how did you come up with that, bro? Like, it's no way that you just came up with that and we in math class. Like, how are you thinking about stuff that's going on the back blocks in Philadelphia and we over here in math class struggling with algebra? Like, I didn't understand it, but he was before his time. Like, way before his time.
There was like certain people that could rap where I was just like, you have a talent. Like, to be honest with you, I thought Nick was a great rapper. I don't know. Have you ever heard Nick rap?
Mm-mm. I didn't even know Nick rapped.
Yeah, he has music out, but there've been so many times where we had like freestyle sessions and shit like that.
Oh
in the
yeah, I
crib.
remember those. And,
like, he was actually like good. And, like, when he was in college, he was really like going to studios, practicing his craft.
Yeah,
and he was really like good. But my issue with Nichols was is that it always sounded better in the car than it did on through the headphones.
That happens.
And it almost like, to me, I feel like I could feel his emotion when I was next to him. But when he would drop his music, like, it would still be good. Yeah. But it wouldn't be as good as I heard it when I was like actually with him. So I don't know how that whole thing like rocks out.
It's about tying it all together. Honestly, that's what it's about. It's about tying it together, because if you don't be able to, it's like now. Like how they say they'd rather hear some people at live shows than on the songs. That's kind of what it is, when it's going to record in the studio and then being in the cypher. Like in cypher, you get the adrenaline going because people getting hype off whatever it is you're saying, just rapping out, freestyling. In the studio, it's usually just you and the producer. So you really got to do what you got to do to try to hype yourself up, So that's how it goes with, like, you're not feeling it there. But me, I'm just naturally a hype person. So I'm going to bring the same energy there as I would in the booth. Like, no matter what it is, I'm just going to give 100% and make sure I put my best foot forward whenever it is I do that.
You see, to me, like, you say you always wanted to kind of be in media, and I was the same way, where it's like, I honestly didn't want to be the person in front of the camera. I really wanted to be the person behind it, kind of like the Parks. I wanted to be like the producer, the producer and the person that chimed in with a funny thing every here and there. Yeah. Because growing up, I felt like so many of you guys were like so funny and talented, and I was just like, if I could just get everybody on the same page, like, we could probably take it to a whole next level. Kind of like, you ever hear RDC World?
Explain.
They're like an anime group out here in like Texas, but like literally, like, imagine like Salik and them,
right?
All come together making videos talking about anime. Yeah, they blew up in like 4 years because that was like a niche or like a spectrum that wasn't being hit,
right?
And they literally just all honed in. All friends got together and just started putting out massive content. That's like, one person was good at drawing, one person was funny, one person was good with music production, and they all just kind of got together. And that's kind of what I wanted to do. Like, I felt like I always had people that had talents in different things. Yeah. And I felt like if we really brought it together, how big it would be. Like, I can only imagine if I had if I even thought about podcasting in 2011, like, how big would this show be, or where would I be at?
Wasn't you in tech back then?
I was in computers, but like, honestly, I always felt like I just been going with emotions when it comes to education and things like that. I feel like I never really knew my purpose, and I feel like with media, I always knew I wanted to do something with media, but I felt like when it came to incorporating people, it's just hard to capture that same passion out of other people.
If you could tell your younger self something right now, what would you say?
Just do it, man. Like, like, don't depend or don't rely on your friends. That's why I made this podcast where it's singular, because I noticed a lot of times when you have a team, not even just Joe Budden, like, I have like a lot of like friends who had done podcasts, right, and they're not friends no more. And it's almost kind of like when you get to the point where you add in business into your friendships, and you feel like somebody's not pulling the same weight that you are, you start feeling real jaded.
You are talking, boy.
So that's just where it takes you. And like, for me, I made it to the point where it's like, I want to have guests on where it's like, shit, if it is a bad episode, I'm not gonna see you next week. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna just keep it moving.
Right.
And it took me until about like 26 to finally realize, like, hey, Traven, like, you have a certain gift yourself. You have a certain talent yourself when it comes to bringing the best out of people. That's what I feel like my hidden talent is. I feel like whoever I'm with, I know how to bring the best out of them. I know how to make people feel good about themselves.
He's like a player coach.
I wouldn't even say that. I just feel like I'm a good person. And I feel like there's not a lot of good people out there.
That's true.
And it's different when I feel like when I was younger, I felt like I was kind of like a pushover. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I was so nice that people thought I was a pushover and that people was taking advantage of me. Then I got to the point where I started getting like real hardened and be like, you know what, like I'm not going to give myself out to people like I used to.
Right.
And that kind of hurt me in a way because honestly, I work my best around people, whether they're good or bad. And if there's some people who are, if there's some people who aren't there for me or they don't show love the same way I do, not to take it personal. You know what I'm saying? Like I realized that
I struggle with that. I struggle with that a lot, and that's me being honest. I struggle with that. Not to cut you off, but it get kind of, especially being that I moved. Like, I've been out of New Jersey since 2012, consistently. You know what I'm saying? I've been in Georgia, New Mexico, California, and now I'm about to be here. And I love what everybody doing back home, but I just feel like, I told you before, it just feels like just being from New Jersey, it's like a crab barrel. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we all fighting against one another because we don't want all of us to get to the top. It's like we're too competitive. I've been like, when I'm in like places, like when I went to school in the South and even out in California to an extent, like people don't mind helping you and putting on so you can move forward. Also, I feel like New Jersey, we are just with this crab in the bucket mentality where it's like really difficult for us to see somebody else succeed if it's not us. Like, your time will come, but it doesn't have to always be your time. And that's why I feel like we mess up a lot. That's why I feel like New Jersey, to me, is the most slept on state with the most talent, because we don't want to help one another showcase it. Like, it's always want to be a one-man show where we from instead of building a major team. Like, I tried my best to, like, even with Cactus Fit and stuff like that, I've been trying to build a team of people from New Jersey first to push it there so we could travel to these other gyms to pretty much put on for New Jersey. Because I met a group of people that I really follow heavy, and they call GBT. They actually based out of Texas. They're down in Houston. And I met them all at the LA Fit Expo. And they walk together as a unit. They record as a unit. Every time each of them posts, everybody is commenting and sharing it and doing it consistently. They're on live with each other every day. And they're helping each other's platforms build to showcase the bigger picture, which is GBT. We don't do that in New Jersey. Like, if it's the funniest thing to me. Like TikTok. I post on TikTok also. TikTok is kind of messy because it'll show you who viewed your video, but they don't like it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you seen it, you know, you say you rock with me and do that, but you just breeze past it, and it shows that you watched it. So how do you?
All right, let's hold right there. Cause you getting good. Okay, so we recording. What's good? It's your boy Trader Rich from Real Ass Conversations, episode number 49. I had me a real special guest with me. This man is a motivator, a fitness guru, a musician, and way much more. And he also is the owner of Cactus Fit. He came through.
Check it out, man.
With the apparel. And, you know, if you need anything, hit him up. I'm going to pass over my boy James so he can introduce himself and his business.
Oh, I have to go?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You already know what it is. We in the building, live on Real Ass Conversation. It's your boy, Big 30, Big Jersey, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to say it, I'm going to listen. But we back in the building right now. This is my second time on the podcast. I'm here in live, in studio, you know what I'm saying, at the pad. It's going down, you know what I'm saying? Tap in, share the podcast, follow my boy. It's up. We about to get it right. Yeah.
We was just having a crazy conversation. It goes into one of my topics for today, and it's pretty much just growing your business and content creating. And as you were saying earlier about where we from, that we're real competitive.
Yep.
But it's a crab in a bucket mentality where you really don't want to see somebody excel, and you went to other places, and it's crazy because I had the same experience. Like I went to school in Missouri, and I went, and it surprises me that I get more support from my St. Louis homies than some people from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Not slighting the people that do support me, but it's crazy when you do see the views and the likes and the comments don't match up to it.
Right.
So when it comes to content creating, I just want everybody to know, don't rely on your family and friends. Like you have to network outside. You have to get a audience that you do not know, because that's how you will grow. Because to go on what you were saying with the whole group, the fitness group that moved and walked together, when I started this podcast, any idea I have it for a group of people, and I want people to be involved. But when you tell people and you have that passion, and like I told you earlier, when they don't reflect it back to you, you just be like, you know what? If you're not going to put your all into it, or if you don't really care, I know I care, and I'll put my time into it. Like as you see right now, like where I'm at with this podcast, I grew so much, and I just had so many times where I would just like, is this really worth it?
Right.
But then I would have, a person reach out to be like, I need an episode. Like you touch a spot that you touch a topic that most people don't talk about. And that motivates me to keep going further and further. And with the whole networking thing, I had a situation with my job, with my last job. It was, they went bankrupt, so I had to go to a new job. My new job I'm at right now, I'm not going to say it's what I love to do, but it allows me to kind of meet new people. And at my job now, I be talking to like all these old heads. They be putting me on game. And it's crazy the information that they give you for free that most people that will make you pay for it. I mean, you go through hoops.
Yeah.
And like you said, with like I don't have a TikTok, but like I understand with the views when you have 200 views or 500 views on a video, but only 13 likes. That can lower your morale sometimes.
It can make you quit.
But what I realized in this whole content game, everybody that I look up to didn't make it until their late 30s or 40s. Steve Harvey didn't make it to his 30s. Kevin Hart didn't make it to his late 20s, 30s. Like everybody that's real big, it took them time, and you do have to fail, and you do have to realize who's in your corner. Because what I realized with family and friends, they want to see you do it before they support you. Like once you get to the point where it's like, all right, I'm there, the numbers are there, the popularity is there, then they're in their corner. It's almost like you have to prove it to them.
That's a fact.
So if you are in this content game, I would say don't take it personal. You know what I'm saying? If you really love it, keep doing it. Because there's so many people that do quit, and they don't know like how close that diamond is. Like that picture where it's like, you keep digging for that gold mine, and then you quit and you're like 1 inch away. I don't want to ever be that person. And like you said, like you need a team.
Oh yeah, you can't make it without one.
And I'm a one-man band with this whole thing. Yes,
make it far without one.
I'm a one-man band with all of this. And I tell so many of my friends who tell me like, hey, why it take you so long? I'm like, cause I'm the producer. I'm the cameraman.
You talking?
I'm the host. I'm the person that's paying for everything, for setting up for everything. Like to me, like you don't know what it really takes. And a lot of people just see these videos and just be like, oh, he's posting it. Like it's just a camera. But honestly, and also, and if you're a person who really care about it, you don't know the mental games that go into it.
Oh yeah,
because like with you, because with your whole fitness thing, with your whole apparel, that is, I can tell you to timing that.
Yes,
I can tell you ain't just get a pressure, like get like random like hoodies and stuff from like this from this warehouse and to do it. I can tell you thought about the color schemes.
Yes,
you thought about everything, and that takes a different level of consciousness, you know, because you believe in yourself. And I know you have Lamonte. You know, shout out to Lamonte, Trappier, you know,
Humble
Almighty,
Trap, follow my man.
Almighty, you know,
he's a baby cat.
Baby cat, he big cat. All right, but you know, like, but you need like one person, and like for me, I also got to the point where it's like I got so jaded, I don't want to ask for help.
That was me. That was even we really. That's funny you say that, right? Because we really just got to a point where I like allowed him to help, because I started Cactus Fit before he got into it. So I was already going and stuff like that. Yeah, before Monte got into it. You know what I'm saying? So we had a couple up and down, but me and Monte been cool, like brothers for like 15 years. So me, I'm the type of person, like when I go, I just go. Like my head is down and I'm just going forward and trying to press forward to make it happen. So I would be kind of jaded, like you said. I didn't want to let anybody in because I've took Cactus Fit so precious, and that's really like my baby. You know what I'm saying? And it was hard for me to let him in. It was. But once I was able to, then like the last drop we did, you know, this is the 4th drop, and this is the one that he came in on, and it was like we was able to reach more people, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So it's really like when you start, it's hard when you start it and then you bring people on as to coming in with the team already. Like I started it solo, so being open to get a team was like kind of unlearning certain tactics and things that I was already doing before a team came. So it was tough. It was really tough.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's about unlearning, and I'm about to be 30. It's 2023. That is my goal for this year, is to network and pretty much, if I can, outsource any work to do it. Because some of my favorite content creators, they said they could get more content out once they got rid of the editing and you know, all the other stuff. Because it's like when you focus on 10 things at one time,
right,
it can fluster you. But when you can just focus on just giving out good content, like I want to give out to you guys, then it's easier when you have somebody that can help you out. And I have people that be telling it to me, but sometimes they don't always come through. And not saying that, you know, we all busy, but I'm the type of person is like, I need people that are serious. Yeah. So if you are watching this, if you ever want to get into podcasting, if you ever want to learn how to do all of this stuff, I can teach it to you for free. I'm not the type of person that's going to just charge you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need you like you need me.
Facts.
So if you're in a DFW area, let's network. If you into fitness, if you into any of the apparel stuff, my boy James here, let's network. Like we are. I don't want to be that person who just stay in my box no more.
Oh no, sir. No, sir. That's my thing now. Like that's what I told Monte this year, Cactus Fit. We did the content. We showed them that we could work out. It's time to outsource now. Travel to different places, meet different people. Because as much as like I bleed New Jersey, like I love New Jersey more than anything. But it's kind of hurtful once you really realize it, but that's not where it's going to take off from, as quiet as kept. Like it's like you have to go out and see these different avenues, because the world is bigger than the state of New Jersey that we're from. You know, like that's what I learned. Like it's different type of people, it's different way people act, it's the way different people interact in different states and stuff like that. And if you just stick to being in New Jersey, you'll be pretty much in one box and you'll be trapped there. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like it's going to be even harder for you to get out. So what I would say for content creators is, first and foremost, don't be afraid to grow. You know what I'm saying? Because when you grow, that's when you glow. So make sure you grow outside of where you're used to. You know what I'm saying? Like make yourself comfortable being uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like you go into these different states, and like all the states I went by myself. Moving to New Mexico, moving to Georgia, moving to California, I got on those planes by myself and learned the game. If I didn't go to some places, I wouldn't have even met a person who told me the way that merch should go out and the different type of fabrics and how you do different printings and stuff like that. And it's stuff I wasn't even up on game about until I was able to travel out. And another thing I would tell you for content creators, the number one thing, because a lot of markets is oversaturated, you have to find what separates you from others. So if you sit there, this is Watts. If you want to sit there and really do something special, you have to do what makes you unique and really just continue to build on that. Because if you sit there and just copy somebody else's formula, you ain't going to do nothing but get buried under all the content that they already pushed out. You know what I'm saying? So that's really the key thing right there.
I will say this, 'cause I do think there's different kind of content out there for podcasting. I had somebody reach out to me for a podcast, and I would just say, just record. Use your cell phone. There is so many different options that you can get content out there. Like, you can use Anchor as a free platform to distribute your podcast. If you ever need like a microphone, your iPhone is a great microphone itself. Or there's options where it's like, $20 like external microphones as well that you can use. But just start getting content out there. Like, get a ring light. Start small. Then the next step I will say is, if you're a Mac user, use GarageBand. It's a free app. I'm starting off right now. I actually like it more than the one I'm paying for, Audition, which is a Windows app. And this microphone right here is $60. Probably the better microphone than most $200 microphones out there. So it's so many ways to just start it off. But like when it comes to the first few weeks or the first few months, just get your content out there. Don't worry about it being bad or being messed up. Like, we all make mistakes. And what I learned is I love seeing a growth. Like, example, Joe Budden. From when he first started to now, to see where his setup is, it's amazing. And that's what I want it to be like. I went from the orange table. Now I'm at, the corner that's with my boy. I want y'all to see the growth, because I feel like people like it when it's genuine. Okay, when you just come out and everything all polished and perfect, it's like, where can you go?
Exactly. That's why I respect Nori. Nori said in one of his interviews, he don't want to interview Jay-Z because he felt like, if I interview Jay-Z, it's nowhere else I can go from there, because I already interviewed the best. So I'm
interviewing Jay-Z. What are you talking about?
Nah, I get it. Like, you got to keep building up in the ranks until you get to that level. Like, I think that's a dope way to go about it.
No, and that's true. And I just want to keep constantly getting better.
Yep.
Whether it's from my audio, whether it's from my visuals. Like, I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be a motherfucking I didn't mean curse like that. Here? Oh, okay. No, you can curse here. Oh, okay. But I know YouTube be tripping. But you guess you can curse. Yeah. This is open platform. But like, I know it's gonna be a hassle editing all of this tonight over this weekend.
Yeah.
But it gives me something to do, and I feel like when you get older, you need something that you're passionate about. Like, you can't go through life aimlessly thinking like, "Hey, what to do?" Like, you have to have some type of motive, and that will keep you going, keep you driving. And
don't be afraid. Not to cut you off.
Are you good?
Content creators, and I'm not the best at what I do, but I have a great work ethic, and I'm going to continue pressing forward. Don't be afraid to learn. That's the one thing. Don't go into it thinking like, I get it, I'm just going to record. Don't be afraid to learn. Like, I used to edit everything in Instagram, and it takes so much longer. So now, and then it already shrinks your video to a certain size, so it makes it even worse. So what I would tell you, if you're an editing person, download an app. It's called CapCut. If you're editing video, visuals, or anything like that, it's CapCut. It makes it so much easier, and it's free. And you can download your videos. You can do fade-ins and stuff like that. Add your music to it, whatever you like, and you can share it to your TikTok, your Instagram story. And another thing, to make your stuff look even more a little polished, you can get the basic pack, but you can download Canva. Canva also is another app that can help you put out like business cards if you want to get those, flyers if you want to get those.
Even reels. Like,
there you go.
I'm about to say, last week I went on a whole Canva YouTube tutorial. I learned so much.
Yes, sir.
And I'm about to drop a lot of stuff using Canva.
I do it all the time.
So if you see where anything I drop is either from Canva and what was the other thing you said?
CapCut.
I never used that, but I'm gonna write
really
that down right now because I need some extra avenues.
Yeah.
But that's hard. So you know, I got you on here because you're a lover of podcasts like me.
Yes, sir.
And I know me and you have been bumping heads on one podcast, the Joe Budden Podcast.
The greatest.
Is he the greatest?
Yes, he is. He's the GOAT.
All right, we won't talk about that. So
he's the GOAT.
I wasn't on Joe Budden Podcast like a year ago. I actually am a new listener to him. I probably started listening to him like around August of last year.
Okay.
And what I can say about Joe Budden is he is a necessary evil. Like he is like I don't like him as a person, but his podcast is amazing.
Right.
And I took a lot of stuff from his podcast. And when I say he's a necessary evil, it's like he's going to be that devil's advocate at the right time.
Right.
And I don't know whether he's doing it because he really feels that way or whether he need the content, but he knows how to trigger his friends to get certain responses out of them. And it reminds me a lot of the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? Like our personality, I don't say we antagonize, but you know, we into that whole like a hot boy shit. You know what I mean? Like we want that smoke a lot of times.
Right.
And watching that show, I can see myself in each one the old cast members. Like with Joe, I can be toxic like Joe. Ish, I can be inspirational, intelligent like Ish, and I can also be dismissive like Ice. Like this, like you know what I'm saying? So
what about Parks?
I don't like Parks.
Really? I don't care for Parks.
I like what he does, but I don't like how he be dickying. Like
he does that a lot.
It's just like I've been watching it for a long time, and if it's not fighting for his wife, he's like Joe Budden all the time.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying? Like no, for his wife he go hard. You know what I'm
does.
saying? But when it's like Joe Budden versus the rest of the cast, it could be the most wrongest statement. He's going to agree with him. And to me, I'm just like, yo, are you doing that because he's paying you, or do you really feel that way? It just seemed kind of snakish to me, honestly. So I don't know. Parks gave me a weird energy.
I had a beef with Parks when Roy and Maul got let go, especially because I really rocked with Maul. I didn't care for Rory, but I rocked with Maul heavy, But I just feel like Parks ran because you heard the story. Parks ran and told Ian everything that was going on. I feel like Parks knew for a long time because at that time, Maul was saying that Parks was getting shorted and Rory and Maul was taking money out of their checks to pay him because Joe wasn't paying, and I don't know, man. I just really feel like Parks, I agree with you. He's a yes man. When it comes to Joe, it's a yes man. I think maybe he's trying to save his job or whatnot because he's probably getting some good money because I think he probably gets paid the most out of everybody.
And I think quiet as kept, whether you like Joe Budden or not, he's going to be successful. Like his thing's going to be real big, and he could be the GOAT at the end of the whole thing. We call himself Podfather.
He's the Podfather.
He could do all that at the end. And mind you, like I said, he has that right because he's been doing this podcast thing for like 15 years.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to hate on him off of that. It's just to me when you say the whole Podfather. Well, I'm gonna say that part for later.
Okay.
So we're gonna stick on the Joe Budden podcast.
Let's get it.
So recently they had 2 extra editions.
Okay.
All right. So
which one?
They had Melissa Ford to be, I guess, the woman's point of view.
I think they needed that.
But should it be Melissa Ford?
No. But I think they did need a woman's point of view because you can't talk about women, in my opinion, with no woman present. So I think that she was definitely needed.
All right. So I'm going to go on that point because I feel like with every female podcast, they don't say, "Oh, I need to get a man on the podcast for a permanent guest on the podcast to have a permanent male point of view." They just have a guest on every now and then.
True.
It's almost like us men, we just can't have a podcast where
I have a question. Would you consider getting a woman host?
No.
Really?
I was telling you earlier, I would like to have regulars. Like, I would like to have a woman regular on.
I think I know it should be, but I ain't going, you know what I'm saying? I already told you who I think that should be.
Yeah, you know, I want a woman regular on, but when it comes to a permanent host, I was telling you earlier, it's hard to bring somebody on when they might not have had the vision you have, or even want to do it. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So you might have people in mind where you might be like, all right, they'll be a good fit for it, but then when you ask them, they'll be like, I'm not interested.
Right.
So for me, I think it's good just to have people on every now and then, because I'm not like this is your second time on.
Yeah.
There's certain people that I want to bring back because I know the vibe is good.
Oh yeah.
Now, if I find like a woman co-host that I'm out there and she is just like amazing and she is on the same time I'm on, like, you know, ready to go to war for this podcast, I mean, I'll think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I would think about it, but this podcast isn't for a woman's point of view. It's for everybody's point of view. You know what I mean? So that's why, for me, I feel like there's certain male podcasts where it's just like, I like listening to it because it sounds like me and the boys. I listen to some female podcasts like Poor Minds, Horrible Decisions, like different ones like that. And they don't have straight men on. I never heard anybody comments like, you need a male point of view. Right. No, they let them girls get their shit off. But for some reason, us guys, we can't get our shit off.
So women feel like guys in microphones is just a horrible idea. So
it's a whole stigma. Like, oh, if the man has a podcast, leave him alone. Yeah, I'm just like, come on. So if a person likes to do audio, likes to put out content, he can't.
I think they're necessarily talking about like messy podcasts.
But my thing is, these women, like, I listen to all podcasts. I don't just listen to male podcasts. I listen to podcasts of all genres. Yeah. And when I tell you, everybody talk their shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So to me, it's just like, I just feel like for some of these podcasts, like Joe Budden, his name is bigger than a lot of these women podcasters. So of course he's going to be the first person on Front Street when things goes down.
He overshadows it.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and he has a messy past. You know what I'm saying? Also, I feel like it depends on the person. It's like he's on Love and Hip Hop, like, you know, womanizing women, just different things like that. So that already brings a bad stigma. And I also feel like if you're a male podcaster, just putting out content saying, oh, this is what women should do, then that is an issue.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But if you have a podcast where you giving like the male point of view, one point of view, all that type of stuff, because I'm the type of person, I don't believe in one way of thinking. Like, I'm the type of person is, I come in a conversation from all point of angles, and certain people I play devil advocate on purpose because I feel like there's one thing that we lost along our journeys of growing up, and I feel like we don't use our minds. We don't think like that. I notice a lot when I ask people why, when they say something, they get offended because they don't know why. They don't know, or they don't know how to formulate how they feel. So they feel like you're attacking you. They feel like you're attacking them when really, I want to just understand where you're coming from. Right. So if I'm asking you questions or if I'm doing this, that, third, I want to know whether you really know what you're feeling right now. Because I'm the type of person is, I look at that from all angles, and I can explain my viewpoints very strongly. And a lot of people don't like that. You know what I'm saying?
Where did that came from?
Jersey.
There you go.
Like I said it before, like in New Jersey, and you know, I'm not trying to big up Jersey.
You should.
Jersey, no, I'm just saying, I have people all over. My thing, I don't want it to be like a Jersey Sean podcast, but
like Joe.
Like, yeah, so for me,
it's not Jersey bias.
Not Jersey bias. Like, for me, you had to have a voice or an opinion to survive in New Jersey. Like, there used to be times in locker rooms or in classrooms where people were literally saying personal stuff about you.
That's the truth.
And you had to find a way how to, one, defend yourself and defend your thoughts. Right. Because there are people out there who will make the narrative for you. And in New Jersey, we real quick and like, you're not going to speak for her. This is what I meant.
Facts.
And I don't know whether me playing sports as well, but every circle I was in, whether it was like the jocks, the geeks, the girls, whatever you call it, you know what I'm saying? They all knew how to say what they want, and they stood on it. Right. It took me when I came out here to Texas and Missouri, where people were telling me, "Oh, you're coming off kind of rude. You're coming off kind of mean," and I was just like, "No, I'm just coming off passionate. Like this how I'm used to talking."
How did that work with women?
It's still working with women. Like right now, I'm not like talking to girls and doing things like that because I feel like Jersey or even my upbringing, I feel like it made me a real tit for tat person. And it took me to date a few girls. I think last time I dated was like 2020. I was dating heavy then. It took me to realize to be like, yo, why am I like, I want to say sabotaging the relationships, but why am I just making like, why am I going so hard right now? Why when this one girl made this one critique, I made this one critique back on her? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it just was a disconnect. And I realized that I had to like look into myself to be like, you know, it's okay to be told about yourself or critiqued or re-critiqued. And you don't have to always say something back. You don't have to. And you know what really taught me that? My sister Ashley.
Really?
Because I talked to her and it'd be certain things that, you know, she go through in her life where I'd be like, yo, that's me. And I can see how on that side of the lens where people might not like it. You know what I mean? So I had to like really catch myself. But what I will say is I know how to turn it on and off.
Oh, I'm bad at that. Like
I just learned it.
Like I can say, I agree with you on that. Like I'm a tit for tat person as well. Like I always had to have to say the last word but you did this, and that's been like that way since I was young. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people that I've dated could probably tell you that. You know, but one thing I'm learning, I mean, I'm not always there yet. You know, I'm still learning as life goes. But like you said, you don't always have to respond or have to feel as if what they're telling you is like out of malicious intent. Like it can definitely be there to help you and help you be a better person. Like you're dating that person, so obviously they're looking at you with some type of futuristic moving forward. When they're telling you like, hey, maybe you should correct this, you don't have to be so up in arms and defensive, but well, you could do this. Like you don't have to do that. And I'm learning that that's not going to get you anywhere but somewhere miserable by yourself. You know what I'm saying? And
to be honest, I want my woman to tell me about myself.
Yes, sir.
It's like it's funny. I like there's paintings around here, but I'm blessed with sisters. Like I had an old picture. I'm gonna show you probably after this.
Okay.
Where they was like that ugly as shit. It's small. Like what you got that on your wall for? And like, you know, they were talking bad to me. And, you know, part of me, I got a little defensive.
Right.
But after a while, I was just like, yo, I can do better than this. So I got some more paintings around. Like you see one right here, but I got more around my apartment right now. Okay. But it's just like, you know, I could have easily been like, you know, tit for tat, but I was just like, you know what? Let me take that criticism. And I put this stuff up. The room looked way better. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's just like I'm constantly learning, and I'm kind of getting to that point in my life where it's like I might get out there and start dating again because I kind of want some woman company, and I feel like at this age is where you grow the most with somebody opposite sex of you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I was talking to somebody the other day. I feel like your best relationships is for somebody from the opposite sex. Because they can give you a different type of realness. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't had moments with my homeboys and my homegirls where I needed like advice. And you know, sometimes, you know, you might have one homeboy that will like, you know, get deep with you. But a lot of times it's surface level. But a lot of times a woman will let you actually know. a lot of times a woman will actually let you know, like, you know, like what you really need to work on. Like I know you have like homegirls you're really cool with.
And this was another thing with me, and I'm very cool with women. And it's not like I'm ever trying to like push up on them and anything like that. Like I'd rather just hang out with the ladies because that's where you get most of your dope ideas and stuff from, like that. Like, you know, I'm not trying to sit in the car and with the guys while they smoke and stuff like that. Like, that just was never my speed. Like, I like to go out places and be outside, not sitting in the, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to do that. But my thing is just like, it's really just a want to me to just hang around the ladies. Like, I'd rather look at a beautiful woman and enjoy their conversation than just sit there with the guys and be doing nothing.
I will say that too, but also girls get on my nerves too. Like,
okay. Well, what gets on your nerves about him?
Because like you, I have a lot of
the cameras on him.
Yeah, like you, I have a lot of homegirls.
Right.
A lot of them are beautiful. A lot of times guys be like, you know, why don't you like be messing with them? And it's like, you know, sometimes I said sometimes you just need a woman influence in your life. True. And what I learned is, and if you friends with them, they got a lot of bad friends as well that they'll put you on.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, go hand in hand. But like when it comes to me, I feel like you said, like with you, girls are the wisest until it comes to themselves. It'd be so many times where they talk to me about the guys they mess with. Oh, and you know, I sit there. You know what? You want to know why I got confident in the last 2 or 3 years?
Ladies.
About how I can get women and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's because what I hear what my homegirls go through. Mm-hmm. I'll be like, you really let him do that? Mm-hmm. You really let him say that? Mm. You really let him act like that? And you still giving him ass. And you still there cooking for him.
Are you dirty macking right now?
I'm not dirty macking because I ain't saying no names, but like no, fuck that. Because like when it comes to my homegirls, I'm honest, and I'm the type
His name is TravenMable, real ass podcast.
Right there. yo, you know, I'm honest, and I'm the type of person is I done got so many of my homeboys ass. From my
you just the assist man, the assist man.
I do it, but you know what? I'm the honest friend. Like, I'll tell my homegirl, "Are you looking for a good time? Are you looking for a relationship?" You know what I'm saying? And because I'll be like, "You messing with him? It's just for a good time. If you with him, a relationship." Like I'll be honest, from guy and to girls. I don't just play one side,
right?
Because like I told you earlier, like I really want to be remembered as being a good person.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to be a manipulative or anything like that. And I had plenty of girls like, you know, I just want to fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna holler at him.
Right.
Go to my homeboy, yo. Go holler at her. You know, she with it. You know, she know what time it is.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, he actually is a good dude. You should really take him seriously. Right. All right, I'm gonna do that. That's but it'd be a lot of times when it's like when they're on their own and have their own escapade, where it just be like, yo, like you getting dogged right now, like low key. And it's like for me, it's like I'll be in an awkward position because, of course, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that they're being like used and like 9 times out of 10, you know what's going on,
right? But
it's just like for me, it's just like I just wish certain people had a little bit more respect in themselves.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's one thing. It's one thing to be out there, just fucking around and messing with guys and know what it is. But don't lie to yourself. That's why I say this real ass conversations. Like, if you're gonna be real with anybody, be real with yourself. You know what I mean? Like, that's like all I'm doing in my life right now. Mm-hmm. And I don't call it dirty macking and stuff like that. But I want my homegirls to know, like, take command of what you want. Like, if I'm blessed with daughters,
right,
I'm not going to treat them different than my sons. I'm letting them know, like, hey, if you in any situation with a man,
right,
make sure you express them what you want and hold them to it. Mm-hmm. Cause there's so many times these girls get with these guys, don't hold them to it, and then wait like months later down to try to instill principles into them. And it's like you can't do that to women. You have to get into them early.
Yeah,
I got a homeboy, like my homeboy Savage on last episode. He was saying that he been with his girl for a year and she ain't never opened the door. He said he set that example. I was like, damn, like never. He was like, no. He said I legit get mad. Yeah. Oh, she touched the doorknob. Like he set that example.
I run to the door, so you don't get it first.
I haven't held a door open since I was 17.
Really? Wow.
But you know what? Me talking to guys like you and Savage made me be like, damn, there's some dudes out there who's making that difference.
Doors, like me, and this is comes like I had a great dad, and then it was times where I wasn't able, but doors, I don't touch the door. Don't even look at the door. Don't even get out the car until I come over there to open it to let you out. Don't touch your wallet. I'm cool. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Don't sit down until I pull your chair out.
Don't touch the wallet.
Yeah, don't touch your wallet. Don't do any. Don't touch your wallet. Like, I'm going to pay. Don't you know what I'm saying? Don't worry about anything. If I'm courting you or taking you out or anything like that, even when we're in a relationship, I like to do those type of things so you can understand that it's only going to be a high level of things. Like, I don't mind. Like, see, like, bringing up Joe Budden podcast, right? To cut the topic, how do you feel about the rent conversation?
I'm with Parks. Because this is a thing that we're losing now.
I'm with him too. I'm with him on a. I don't.
And
mind.
To give you a little backstory about this whole thing, so the Joe Budden podcast a week ago, pretty much they was having a conversation where the producer of the show said that his wife cash asks him a portion of the rent. Not half, not no, just a portion, because she wants to feel like she's a part of the team and that she's contributing to the household.
Yep.
Joe Budden and the rest of them was like, yo, you crazy. Like, she shouldn't be touching anything. Like what's going on with your relationship? And they got backlash on it because
I feel
we're not.
Go ahead, bro.
Because these people are rich. You know what I'm saying? When you're at a certain level, yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
But when you like a normal person or a normal man or woman,
right,
you need partnership. You need to cohabitate. Be cohabitants with each other. And I'm making this racial. We're black, and the biggest thing I will say is, you always hear the narrative from black women that say, they don't make as much money as men do. They don't make as much money as white men. Neither do black men. We're in a generation where black women are either the breadwinners or making just as much as their men.
True.
They're going to work. They got junior aspirations. Right. I know women where you'll be like, I got you. You can stay at home. They'd be like, no, I have like my own dreams and aspirations. You know what I mean? So the mindset is different. It's not like how it was back in like the 60s where it's like, all right, the woman had to stay at home. Like, no. It's at a point now where the man and the woman have to take turns watching the kids. Have to take turns like paying the bill sometimes. It's not the same as it used to be. And it's funny because, make it more personal, my mom be on my sister telling her like, oh, you really let your husband watch the kid by himself? Like, you should be watching the kid. And she was like, this nigga made this baby. What you mean? You know what I mean? Like, it's different nowadays. It's not
it's a new age.
It's a new age. You know what I'm saying? Like husbands are doing different things.
Right.
They're doing more of the I'm not even going to talk about women doing more of the house duties and upbringing of the kid.
True. And
the women are also helping out with the bills. It's like it goes hand in hand. So what's the issue with that? And I'm a firm believer is do whatever works in your household.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if it works for you to pay all the bills, do that. If y'all believe going 70-30, do that. 50-50, do that. I don't like comparing. You know what I'm saying? So for them to be like, you wrong for doing that, it's just like, yo, you don't know what's going on with their household.
Talk to them.
And Parks told him, I'm happily married.
Yeah.
I have no issues at home.
He said, I'm the only one in here that's married.
Yeah.
So.
Except for Queen's Flip.
Oh, yeah, Queen's.
But hold on. Before we get too deep. Oh, so Queen, how you feel about Queen's Flip on the show?
He's the greatest addition that ever happened to the Joe Budden podcast.
So when he first joined it, I was kind of hot. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Because I was just like, yo,
I felt like he hit out the park first episode.
I felt like his personality was just too strong. Like, it was, to me, I liked the dynamic of the three because it was like Ice is like the dismissive, chill one. Ish is like the person that's like intellectual and will get in your ass if need be. And Joe's a toxic one. And I felt like Queen's Flip was like talking over all of them, like kind of like taking them out of their element. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't go on there to have two wild motherfuckers going crazy on the microphone. But he had a few dinner dates with Joe Budden and Melissa Ford, and I feel like he learned the pockets of where he needed to get into. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I like him on it now. But when he first started, I wasn't that big of a fan of it.
He is perfect for it because I feel like he makes them uncomfortable. And
He'd be on Melissa Ford ass.
Yeah, he keeps them uncomfortable, and they need that because everybody just be chill, mellow. You get the same thing every episode. He came in and threw like a wrench.
Hey, yo, Freeze!
Yeah, Freeze. I love that his name is Freeze now. It's that much better. Like, Freeze sounds way much better than Ice. I never thought of that. Like, yeah, my nigga Freeze.
What's his name?
Library.
Library. Yo.
Like, it's perfect. And that's why I give credit to Joe, because simply you have to have it up here to really know how to match personalities that aren't the same, but when you put them in the same room, it makes sense. That's why I say he's the GOAT, because all these other podcasts stayed the same. Come in, interview a rapper for an hour, you get out of there. Kidding. Interview a rapper, you drink, you get high, you get out of there.
But wouldn't you rather? He's in jail right now.
Who?
But
Max
I
B?
would rather have had
Free
Sue
Max B.
Surf be the addition over Queen's Flip, though.
Who?
Sue Surf.
I love Free Surf, by the way. That's my twin. But we got the same birthday. But Free Surf.
Who are you people?
Free Surf, free my man out that wave. You send that money to the JPay. But Surf would have been perfect because Surf just comes from left field with like his topics and thinking and stuff like that. Surf would be like, all right, how would you feel if this, and it's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Surf, whenever he does get out, which I believe he will, I think he'll be back. But I feel like Queen's Flip is the next best thing to Surf. So that's why it makes sense. Me personally, is nothing against her, and I love black women. I don't really care for Melissa Ford, me personally. She's just not my cup of tea.
I think
My mom loves her, and she hates that I don't like her. She
doesn't get that deep in the topics. Like, I feel like her answer be real generic. That's what I really honestly think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, me, I'm a don't call me white girl kind of person. Like,
really?
You told me you didn't like her.
I didn't like her then either.
I love Don't Call Me White Girl because she remind me of a girl from New Jersey or Philly. Like, she remind me of a person that I can pull up on and we will riff off of, kind of thing. Like, that's a person I would love to have on the show because she cool as hell.
I don't know why. See, me, I haven't listened, and I love them to death as people, but I haven't really listened. Last episode I listened to was the Kevin Hart one, but I haven't listened to $1 Million Worth of Game in a long time because it just got repetitive.
Yeah, it's
the same thing every week, and they still won't fix the audio. Like, listening to it, it's horrible.
That's what I feel about Drink Champs. I can't listen to Drink Champs.
Really?
It sounds horrible through my headphones. Everybody's talking, screaming. It just the audio not even that crisp. I'm just be like, I don't know. To me, it's just like I feel like I would like it more if I was in the room. More so than
you got to be there live. Do you watch the video?
No, I really don't watch.
I don't watch podcasts either. So
no, I watch podcasts, but I don't watch them. And to speak on you talking about Joe Budden being the podcaster and the GOAT. Mm-hmm. Only reason I can disagree with that is because he might be the podcaster and the GOAT of today black community or black media.
You gonna go Joe Rogan?
No, I recently got into this podcast called Bad Friends. You ever watch Mad TV?
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, I forgot his name. Oh my goodness. Remember the Asian dude? Hot dog. What's his name? What is his name? Give me 1 second, yo.
Let me see if I can see it.
Oh man, give me 1 second. Yo, so it's pretty Bobby Lee. His name Bobby Lee.
Okay.
So it's him and one of his comedian friends, and pretty much it's called Bad Friends. They're pretty much just like. It reminds me of high school. I wouldn't say being mean to with your friends, but you ever just go back and forth with your friend and somebody might be like, yo, y'all seem like y'all don't like each other, but y'all love each other type shit. That's just how y'all relationship.
Yeah.
They hilarious. They've been out probably for 2 years. Mm-hmm. Their podcast in a week will make more than Joe Budden's podcast in a year when it comes to views. And it took me to like get out of my box and start like actually like looking at the numbers.
Yeah.
Like the ones that I might see for Joe Budden that might be like 2 mil, 3 mil, 5 mil, might be like, 2 years old. For them, it might be 3 months. To me, it's just like the audience is different when it comes to media. It's hard for Black people to reach out to the white community, Asian community, different things like that, because we're the cool kids in a way. Yeah. It's like everybody kind of wants to be in our world, but they don't want to let us in their world. How I feel. And I feel like when it comes to like on the other way out, it's easy to get the Black viewer. You know what I mean? Like we're easy to spend our dollar and we're easy to support. So it's like us, we're already a given, and they already have their own people where it's Asian and white. So it brings in more volume of eyes. You know what I'm saying? I get it. And when you talk about the whole $1 million worth of game, it is repetitive. That's why Joe Budden is changing his format, because he said I don't want to be a music podcast. Yeah, I want more to myself. Like I changed this my thing from Real Ass Conversation podcast to Real Ass Conversation show, and that's because I seen Dame Dash was like, why are you calling your thing a show for? No, he said, why are you calling it a podcast for? He said, you putting yourself in a box. If you say it's a show, you can market it better. You know what I mean? So it'd be small things like that. So it's funny to me when we label somebody the best one. It's like there's other people out there that just hitting out the park at a crazier level. But all right, so off of that topic to the next topic. Do
you want to get serious, or you want to?
Man, let's get serious, because we're already on a serious topic. So this past weekend, I saw 2 videos that kind of disgusted me with how people was reacting.
I didn't see them. I try not to let my mind see those type of things.
It's a different one. I showed you one video already. So this is the Black Fathers one. So I just want to know, why do Black fathers get such a bad rap for? Like, why does Black fathers always have a bad connotation when you speak of it? And the reason I bring that up is because I know plenty of Black fathers who are amazing. Right. There for their kid, will die for their kid, all of that. But it's still this narrative where it's like, I guess Black men don't protect Black women in a way. And the videos I've seen, I'm gonna try to like post it. But one video I saw was this older gentleman, Black male, probably like in his 60s. He'd been adopting for 10 years. He had 20 kids that he adopted, no issues at all. He got into the whole adoption ring because one of his best friends was about to lose his kid. And he adopted the kid because he didn't want the kid to be like put into the system. So he pretty much saved that kid and found a love for rearing up the youth. So he adopted this one girl and her 4 siblings. And it was like on his positivity page where just like, like congratulations to, I'm sorry I forgot his name, but congratulations to this gentleman. Like he adopted this kid and their 4 siblings. So of course in the comments you see some things that are like, oh, like that's amazing. But then you just start seeing comments, and I'm sorry, like especially from Black women that were just like, I don't want to be that person, but this picture made me feel uncomfortable. I don't know why a 50-year-old man is pretty much adopting 5 kids. Like what is he? What will he do to those kids? Something about this don't seem right. It was like hundreds. Like I'm scrolling. Yeah. And there's some people that defend the guy saying like this dude has a clean track record. Like what are y'all talking about? Yeah. And people are still saying like, I understand that, but this still kind of give off bad vibes. And that go into the other video I showed you earlier today about, a dad pretty much spotting his daughter in the gym. He is a fitness coach, and he pretty much got his daughter to love fitness as well, and they pretty much bond through that. Okay. Whole thing. Why are you wearing that in front of your father for? That's disgusting. Why is he behind you? Why you squat for it? Like I would never. I would never do that in front of my father. Like this made me feel awkward. And the girl was just like, I don't know what's going on between you and like your family, but this is how me and my dad bonded. Like I was maxing out, and he was there supporting me. This is a proper technique. He is he is a licensed coach.
Right.
And people were saying like, still like that's disgusting. Like I would just get under the coach. Like I don't know what's going on with you and your family. It's almost like they're reflecting their feelings on this girl. Where it's just like this girl is being nothing but nice to these people.
Right.
And to me, it's just like, why can't a dad just be there supporting his daughter? When did this narrative start being that black men don't protect black women? I think it's since for social media.
That was my answer.
I think it's there for social media, but I know plenty of black men who will die and fight for their homegirls, brother, like sisters, mothers, all of that.
Right.
So if you could just get in a little bit more deeper detail with it, like where do you think it stemmed from, and how can we get out of it?
All right. Me personally, I feel like it may come from how they was raised. You know, people don't understand, especially having children. Things you may say to them can stick to them, one, and be practices that they use or ideologies they believe are true as they get older. Like when we are young at a certain age, you know, we came from an era where, you know, a lot of people, especially coming from like the urban neighborhoods and whatnot, where bad mouthing the father wasn't in the household or stuff like that. So you're mainly at home with the mother majority of the time. You know, the father would come either get the kid on the weekend or something like that because of custody issues and whatnot. And a lot of those times things are probably said, in my opinion, you know, I'm not 100% right. You know, I could be wrong, but I feel like in my opinion, in some of those things, you know, the father's bashed and the kid sits there and hears it and not making an excuse or anything for the father or anything like that. But I feel like in certain situations, the father wasn't present. You know what I'm saying? And being that the father wasn't present, the child grows up to think that the father neglected them or something like that. So that's why I feel like the stigma is bad, because you taught me so much stuff as I've grown up. And now these people who are on social media now talking that stuff in the comments, maybe they didn't have a father, or maybe we're in a copycat world right now. So maybe they just seen somebody else make a comment or whatnot and just copy what they said. But in all actuality, I just really feel it's like the way we was raised, the things we seen as we were youth and heard, that we're now coming into present day where we're just pretty much spilling out everything that we was taught. And it's sad that you can't just go to the gym but even though I wouldn't be spotting my daughter like that, but
yeah, he said it was kind of close, but
yeah, he was kind of close.
But you also said she was maxing like 315.
It was 315. Like that's not like, I'm a personal trainer, so I can get it. Like 315 is heavy for me. You know what I'm saying? So the girl wasn't a husky girl. She was a pretty slender type. I'm
gonna post a video so I can
type
see
of
it
girl.
too.
So that's why not. Like I'd rather have my dad there, someone I know that's not gonna, you know, have any. Like, it's because the gym is a creepy place. I'm gonna be honest with you, and a lot of you women may know that. You know, it's always like, if you want to get a man to spot you, it's a lot of the times it comes with something. You know, say, oh, can I get your number now? Or they're trying to purposely.
They be doing that?
They probably, yeah, it does. Like they're purposely trying to graze up on you. I see some weird things at the gyms. You know what I'm saying? So why not have your dad do it, who's a licensed coach, who just wants nothing but the best for you, you know, or something like that. You know, but I get it though, how it looks on the outside looking in. But when we remove the video, like, wouldn't you want it to be your father if it wasn't somebody else? Like
exactly. One girl was like, I would take a stranger. So the girl was like, you would take a stranger who could do anything to you rather than somebody you trust and love.
Exactly. You know.
And a black woman said that, talking about, you know, that she was crazy for saying that. So, you know, what
TravenMable from the Real Ass Conversation Show.
No, I'm saying no. Black women was defending the girl lifting weights too. So I'm like, it's not, you know, all black women, but it's just like, I don't know. It's just like like social media, the stigma is so strong against.
Why do you feel like in today's world, why do you feel like it seems to me, but correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like black women are at war with us in a sense.
I personally feel like social media is a new crack.
Damn.
The crack took out black men in the 80s and 90s, and social media is taking out black men now. And it's because
cancel culture,
and we're the only culture that puts so much stock into social media. Like I have a lot of white friends who don't be on their social media like that.
No.
Or if they do have a social media, they haven't posted it in like a year or two. They might see things on there, but they talking like their shit in person or like behind the camera.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where we put everything out there on Front Street. And I know something about my people where it's just like, I saw something today where it's like images really shape us. Like what we consume, what we see on a daily basis really will mess with our psyche. And then get with one of our other topics about police brutality. I saw something where a doctor was saying there are studies showing that black people are suffering PTSD by seeing so many images of them being abused on camera. So imagine that same thing where you see nothing but black women and black men going at each other. You going to grow that disdain for each other. Like, I don't think it's just black women. Black men be doing the same thing towards black women. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a two-way street.
Yep.
But it's like we're doing this all for content and to get numbers and views. When it's just like, are you right within? Like, you know what I mean?
Everybody trying to go viral.
You know what I mean? For what? Like, I don't want to hurt any woman feelings out there just to get some clicks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want to be mindful of what I say, and like things I do say, if you do have issues with it, let's talk about it. I'm not a person that's going to run away from like, you know, my thoughts and my ideas, but social media is a poison, man. And with people getting shit from the Shade Room, Say Cheese, and all these other platforms, all I see is Blueface and Christian fighting each other, abusive all day, people getting killed and shot. This rapper is dead. It's like, to me, I have a social media page completely dedicated to positivity. I be on that most of the time. I have an Instagram page as like just for like positivity. Like, I don't follow none of my friends on there. I literally follow positive pages, fitness pages, quotes of the days, different things like that, because sometimes I have to unplug myself from my platforms, because even if I don't click some things just be popping up out of nowhere. I don't know how these algorithms are working, but it's not pushing out the stuff I want to see. And I don't think it's as bad as what it is, because you know what? These black women are still loving these black men. These black men are still loving these black women behind closed doors. You know how many women I know who be talking shit about dudes, but still be laid up with them at midnight?
That is TravenMable, Real Ass Conversations.
Yeah, man. You know, I mean, I ain't want to get, but that's real though. Like, there been plenty of times where I heard girls be like, you know what? I ain't messing with this dude no more. Like, he got me fucked up. And then I hit her the next day like, yo, you good? Everything straight? Yeah, me and him just talked about to go get breakfast and stuff like that. I'm just like, you know what? All right. Y'all really love each other. You know what I mean? Like, stop acting like, stop being in your feelings and posting your thing automatically. Sit with it for a day or two and then see whether you still feel the same way. Yeah. And that's what I had to learn myself. Like, I had to learn to sit in my feelings.
Yeah, don't just run to social media because you ain't going to do nothing but get in trouble and have to reel back what you said.
People used to know my Facebook. I used to post anything that came to my mind. Like, I used to be that bold. I used to be prideful in it. But like, you know how many times now I will type something out and I will delete it because I'd be like, you know what, this doesn't need to be out there. I do that a lot now lately, and that's how I know I'm getting older and I'm growing. That I'm being mindful of what I say. And
so we go find some of those statuses. You might get canceled.
I wouldn't even say get canceled, but like there's certain ones where I'm just like, all right, I'm saying this.
Right.
I'm saying it just to say it. I don't really even like. I'm saying this in the moment kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like speaking on things when I just say it in the moment. Like, I was talking to this kid last week where I was talking to him and I kept like stopping while I was speaking. He was just like, man, just keep it real. And I was like, it's not about keeping it real. I want to be mindful of the words I say. Because I don't want you to misconstrue anything I'm saying right now. So if I do take pauses, or even when I'm doing this podcast, I take pauses because I want to be mindful of what I say. There's been so many times before where I would just blurt out shit.
Right.
That's what Kanye West does. No offense, but that's what Kanye West does. He just blurt out shit. And a lot of times he might have a deeper meaning, but he don't explain it. And I want to at least be to a point where you can at least understand it and I can explain it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm more mindful of that. And it took me time. Like I said, I wasn't perfect. And before, I used to call myself, my mom used to call me the pot stirrer. You know what I'm saying? I love stirring the pot. I still love stirring the pot. But I learned that, you know, there are time and place for all of that.
Right. I get you.
All right. So the bounce off of that, still on serious topics right now. To get more on a serious note, last Friday, film came out of another police attack. The situation actually happened on Saturday, January 7th. It's crazy that the video took 2 weeks to get out. But the situation was a guy named Tyre Nichols. I think he's like a guy in his 30s. He was taking like pictures of the sunset. He was driving back home and he was pulled over because of reckless driving, he said.
And this was in
Memphis.
Okay.
So he was pulled over by the Memphis Police Department Scorpion Division, whatever that meant. Scorpion Division. It sounds crazy. But he was pulled over by them. Pretty much, they pulled him out, start cursing at him, throw him on the ground, you know, beating him up. They try to handcuff him and get him up. He starts running away.
Right.
One of the cops, and mind you, they arrested 5 black cops. The one person that hit him with a taser was white. We don't know who this person is yet.
Wow.
You see him get tased. So he goes back down, and then you see, like, you know, video on the other side of the street of these dudes picking this dude up, like taking turns, just like going crazy on him, like just wilding. The dude saying, like, you know, like what did I do? Like, I'm sorry.
Right.
And these cops are just cursing at him, giving him different directions. He don't know what to do. He's the only one that's trying to like keep it civil.
Right.
He unfortunately he lost his life though.
Wow.
The police officers that assaulted him was 5 black police officers. They have been detained. Hopefully they get sentenced soon.
What was his name again?
His name was Tyre Nichols.
Rest in peace to him, man.
Yeah. So the black cops have been detained. Hopefully they get life. I don't care if they're black. That's wrong.
Yeah, it's still wrong.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. And they said that he was driving recklessly, but you can even see on the cop car that he wasn't. Like, every evidence says that that nothing was wrong. There is a rumor that he married one of the cops, like ex-wives or something like that. I haven't looked too deep in that, so I don't want to like promote that.
Right.
But they said that's one of the underlying reasons. But this brother no longer here no more, and it's over people that's supposed to protect and serve us. And it's crazy to me because I'm a person where I live in my own bubble. I like being oblivious. I don't watch the news for certain reasons because I don't need that negativity forced into me.
Right.
But I have people that bring it to my attention, and like I said, rest in peace, you know, and condolences to the family. I hope y'all get the justice. But I had like one of my old heads at my job, which is like he thinks it's a conspiracy. I said, why? He said he feels like the police department wants to show that it's not just white cops doing it. You know what I'm saying? That it's black cops doing it, that, you know, it's not a racial thing.
Yeah.
It's a police thing. But I said, regardless of whether, I said, well, I hope it's not like that to my old head. But I said, it's wrong regardless. And I'm tired of seeing it, especially when it comes to our old people. Because I don't see white people get killed on camera every other month. I don't see Asian. But I see them report about us, though.
Yeah.
And to me, it just made me even scared to even like go out. Like, I'd be scared to even jog around my neighborhood with a hoodie on.
Oh yeah.
Like, I had to literally text like my friends and my sisters, like, my location to be like, you know, I'm going out right now.
I share my
location at certain times
permanently for the closest people in my life.
So
friend groups, parents, my mom, my siblings, you know where I'm at every time.
So I just wanted to make that known to everybody. If you didn't know, like, this happened on this came out on Friday. I'm praying for the family. I hope Tyre that you were like in a better place. Like, you didn't deserve any of that. And it's just the world got to change, man.
Why? Okay. that's the statement that I hate when they say, all right, the cops doing this, and then it's going to take ages for we've seen this story over and over and over again. Like, when does it stop? Like, these men, who knows? I don't know if the guy had children or whatnot, but they really taking the black man out of these households and leaving these children out here with no father and stuff like that.
And that bleeds into our conversation before.
Yes, sir. And then that's when, now we all scared. Like, if you even see lights, like, I know myself personally, like, if I see cop cars or lights and stuff like that, I tense up. Like, I got it on my dash in my car. Like, I have contacts saved. I could just press my screen and it'll call somebody, because you get nervous. Like, I got in one situation in college in Georgia, and I was with a roommate, T Champ. We was out there leaving from a college party, and I was in the racist part of Georgia. I was in Rome, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Nowhere near Atlanta. It's like deep down there, And we walking, because we didn't have vehicles in college, and we walking back to the campus. Cops is, shut down the party. So we black, we walking, swerve right in front of us and stop. Where y'all boys going? We just going back to the school. You don't go to school. You guys look old enough. Like, you don't go to school. Like, I feel like y'all lying. I'm like, nah, we got to school. Here's our ID. Like, I don't believe you. Could you guys step over here?
So your school ID is fake.
Yeah. So can you step over here to the front of the vehicle so I can search you? Like, in me at that point, I was a hothead. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was me from a young child. Like, I just didn't know how to express my feelings without it being come across as I want to get physical and angry. And I'm sitting there like, yo, like, and I'm talking whatnot. Like, we're students here. Like, we play football for this college. Like, we are really students here. Like, I could call my coach right now. Don't touch that phone. Like, so that was before I was wise enough. At this time, I was like 17, 18. Try to grab my phone to make a call and whatnot. Pull that gun on me so fast, slammed me on the hood, put me in the cuffs, dropped me and my boy off to the station. We was there for like 12 hours before we even got to give a call out to the coach or anything. Just had us in a holding cell for the longest.
And don't even apologize at the end.
No, they just talking trash while you locked in that holding cell. If you would have just listened, boy, and all that stuff, like, I really wouldn't do that. And that's why when I see cops now, like, I get a little like PTSD where I turn the other way, because it's just like, that was a moment where I was like, because I already lost my dad. So, like, if my mom get a call that something happened to me, like, I feel like that would finish her. So that was like a situation right there where it was like real life, and nowhere near home. Like, nowhere near. That's the worst part. Like, home is far away. You out here by yourself and the people you meet, you know what I'm saying, who are outsiders also. So a scary moment, man. Like, and it's crazy because later on down the line, I went to go back to visit the school for like a homecoming and stuff like that. Seen the same officer. He said, "You look familiar." Nah, I'm not from here. Scared the shit out of me, bro. Like, that right there was like something like me having a son. Like, it's like I really sit there and just pray to God that he don't have to go through none of that stuff, because it's just like, even how, no matter if you're trying to be disrespectful or if you're being respectful, sometimes when it comes to us black men getting pulled over by cops, they hate that you look so up in stature or whatnot that they want to try to shrink you down to size, in a sense.
My story is a little bit, it's not as bad as yours, because I actually did something,
Mm-hmm.
But like, I had like a run-in when I was like a kid with a cop that like,
Really?
that made me be like, I don't like cops, or like even how I acted.
Yeah.
I was 13. I actually like did something bad. I shoplifted,
Mm-hmm.
but I took like a soda from like CVS or some shit like that.
Right.
Took it downtown. They pretty much try to give me the whole spiel, like, like, well, what would you do if your mom knew you did this, that, and the third? And the whole time, I'm just like, just scared, not talking.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just saying like, he's like, why'd you do it? This, that, and the third, like, just pretty much screaming at me. I'm not responding. He took me to the corner. He was like, I will break your fat ass. He literally told me, I'm 13 years old. Mind you, he didn't say it like, you know, he didn't say it like in those sitcom like cop voice. Mm-hmm. It was like, no, like he said, I will break your fat ass. He was like, your parents aren't here. He said, if you want to like,
that's crazy.
He said, if you want to be a tough guy, and you want to make your mom cry and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. He said, we'll keep you here for that fucking soda. And like, he was dead ass. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, I had like PTSD because I was upset because I'm 13. This nigga put this is a black cop too. Mm-hmm. He put the cuffs on me like I had like lunar circulations. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, yo, if they treat a 13-year-old, even though I was a big kid, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if you treat a 13-year-old black kid like this, imagine if I was 18 or an adult. I don't even tell my parents about it because I was just like so taken back by it. I was just like, damn, like this dude like literally is threatening a 13-year-old kid about taking him down over a Sprite.
That's crazy, man.
But it's just like, you know, I'm not gonna say all cops bad. I meant like, you know, like a few good cops, but it's just like one bad egg.
Yeah, it spoiled a whole dozen.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I got 2 more topics. Next one is AI. I'm scared of technology.
We're done, guys. I'm just telling y'all right now. We're
what's
finished.
Going on? I was listening to the Wall Street Trapper.
You got us.
I listened to him on Monday, and he was pretty much talking about this new AI software called ChatGPT.
What's that?
And pretty much it's a software where you can type in a word or a sentence, and it will write out a whole essay for you, like 10 to 20 pages, a poem. Anything you need, it will generate a whole story for you. And it's getting these colleges in a frenzy because it's like plagiarism is becoming an issue, and how can we really be sure that these kids did this work or not? And to me, I'm getting scared because even that whole app Lenza or whatever, where they was trying to, where people was like giving in 12 photos and they was doing all this, all these crazy portraits and things like that, and they're gonna use their likeness for different movies.
You're done.
For me, it's just like, with AI taking over all of these jobs and things that we do, what will we have to do in 20 or 30 years? Okay. Like, we don't need this much assistance.
No.
And to me, it's like every sci-fi movie going wrong. And like, we don't take no signs from it. I don't know why we think it won't happen, but all this technology and how fast it's being created is scary to me. I don't want to even deal with no AI. I don't want to deal with anything AI.
It's crazy. Like we're being watched even right now. You can say something out loud and then you'll go on your internet and it'll pop up on your internet. Like I've seen it on numerous occasions. You'll say something out loud and it pop on your Instagram feed now. It's like we're being watched and listened more than ever right now. Like even the people who did the picture thing, they told you what they're going to do. Like you're selling your likeness right now,
so they can use it for other ads, platforms, all of that.
Like your face will be on a Burger King commercial somewhere just because you did something like that.
But they say they even get to the point where they can, like, you know how you do the 2-step identification thing and stuff like that. They're going to be using your face to take all your information.
Yeah. So I don't do stuff like that, man. Like it's scary. Like, how you can even think like the day machines took over. Like these, like you got smart cars, you got smart watches, smartphones. Like they really are trying to remove the human out of everything. They're about to have self-driving trucks. Like they're trying to take everybody out. They already got the waiters. You already could go to McDonald's in certain cities and it's nobody even working right here.
And that's what's so crazy to me, because I come from a hospitality industry and a service industry, and it's crazy how these kids don't want to work no more. They'd rather have a stay-at-home job, I guess, making these programs. But what people don't realize is it's going to be a certain day where you won't have a server.
No,
you won't have somebody to check out your groceries, your bags. Like, and another thing is these jobs will be going away. So the people that who are older, are kids who are looking for like a quick job to get them through high school.
Oh yeah,
it's not going to be there no more. It's going to be all computer generated, and literally, I don't know what jobs will be left for the common man. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I don't even want to indulge in any of this stuff. I don't want to promote it, indulge it. I guess me talking about it is kind of promoting it.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it's just scary. And I feel like we should be more weary of what we're seeing now.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, I like a little interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, even if I mind you, I want the option. Not even that. I want the option. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I need something, I want to be able to talk to somebody. Hey, do you know where the milk is at down this aisle? I don't want to have to like go to a screen and they tell me. It's gonna give you the address. Like, all right, put in your GPS, walk you straight to there.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just getting scary to me. I kind of miss the old days when we had the fat back computers and the TVs with the big butts on them and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just too much, man. Too much, too fast, and I can only imagine what our kids will have.
Why do you think this is happening?
All right, it sounds like a conspiracy.
Okay,
but I feel like COVID was the reason why this all happened. I feel like the pandemic happened because they wanted to get things in place because they knew this new generation doesn't want to do physical labor. So there's one thing, you have a generation who don't want to do physical labor because they've seen their parents slave for nickels and dimes to barely make it, and then on the other side, you're saving money because you don't have to worry about them. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about whether this person called out sick. I remember, like, I've been in management my whole life for 10 years. I hate how good of an employee I was.
Explain.
Like, you know, like I was a person that never called out, never used the sick days.
Really?
Didn't take PTO. I was the one that was always there, and I feel like they be the ones that get burnt out the most because they put the most on you.
Right.
But then there's the people that you know who take all time off, always late, calling all the time, and you'll be like, yo, how can one person run this ship? And so when that happened, that one good person get burnt out, and they be like, screw it and leave. Then there's no good workers left. Like, I really felt like, you know, around like 2019, 2020, where I was managing, I feel like all the kids who were like 23 and below didn't have no work ethic. They had no drive. I used to be a steakhouse manager. I would be talking to like different adults, and they'd be like, yo, these millennials don't want to work. I'm like, it's not even millennials. It's like Gen Z and shit. Like, I was like, you know, of course there's some millennials, but I'm like, I'm a millennial.
Right.
And I'm out here managing, helping make drinks, busting these tables down. I'm working my ass off.
Yeah.
But you might ask somebody else to do something like, hey, you get that hero those silverware, get attitude. And nothing to do. All right, you go home then. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't blame it all on technology, but it's just like, you know, people got lazy.
Right.
And it's also more cost effective to have machines do it. A little more less risk of error. Only thing I get scared of is when they have those damn police robots and dogs and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, I don't like somebody could hack that. Only thing, my whole thing is somebody could hack that system and the whole thing go haywire. Then who fault is it? I don't know. I feel like they're trying to put more machines out there also so they can stop so they can pretty much get the blame off them work and be like, oh, it wasn't humans. It was an error. It was just tech issues. It's like, no. Like, this is things we should be wary of. I've seen enough Black Mirror to know. All right, so the last topic. Super Bowl 57. So I want to say, you know, I want to shout out to all the Eagles fans out there, all the listeners in Philadelphia 215. I do love you guys. We did an amazing game last night. All right, you don't need to be hating now. Did an amazing game last night. Took out the Niners, beat them 31-7. And next week we play the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Kansas City Chiefs won last night. They beat Joe Burrows in 23-20. So me asking an ex-athlete, a person who watches football, who you think gonna win and why?
Could you answer first?
I'm gonna say the Eagles are gonna win.
What score?
I hate playing that, but I will say this is what I will answer. I feel the Eagles will win. This is why I feel like they will win, because I feel like we have less injured people than they do. I feel like Mahomes is still not 100%. I would have rather. That's what I said. I would have rather have played him than Burrows. Cause I was like, I know he's at 100%, and right now our defense is at its best it's ever been, and I think that will be the dynamic between the two. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So as long as our defense show up and put pressure on Mahomes and Kelsey and shit like that, I feel like we have a pretty good chance of winning. But if it gets to the point where it's like our defense isn't showing up or our people are going down, it's going to be iffy. Because my thing is, I know Mahomes, he's a playmaker. You know what I'm saying? He's worth that $500 million. You know what I'm saying? Like he can extend plays, and so can Kelsey. But I don't know. It's just, I was nervous when Jalen Hurts was like out for that 1 week and came back saying he wasn't 100%. But honestly, how he been playing and his poise, I just feel good about it, man. Like I don't know. I like people who are underdogs because I remember that game he was benched in Alabama. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember when they benched him, it was like, oh, we don't really, but not they didn't really believe him, but that was the commentators made it seem like.
That was a championship game.
Exactly. Like when he needed him the most. But I'm confident in the Eagles. I'm not the type of person that's gonna be like it's a guaranteed win because I hate jinxing it. I had Caddy tell me yesterday. He's like he said I'm a sometimes fan. I was like, what you mean? I said,
oh, you only there when they good.
That's what he said. I was like, what are you talking about? I said, you in New Jersey and you're a Titan fan. And that's one thing I hate.
Oh shit.
If you are not our team rival, why do you hate us? Like I don't talk. My thing is, if you're not a Cowboys fan, a Giants fan, a Patriots fan, or even a Steelers fan, you should have no ill will against us. Only reason you don't like us is because your friends are gloating in front of your faces. And for Caddy, I live in Texas.
Right.
I had to talk about shit in front of Texas. I'm not going to be on Facebook talking to New Jersey talking to the New Jersey people about my Eagles. Huh?
You got gunshots?
I ain't got no gunshots. I got to get the gunshots. But, like, I'm not going to be online arguing because this is another thing about people on social media. I have a job. Like, there's another thing. Like, there's some people who wants me to go back and forth with them, or they feel like when I stop responding that they won. It's not that. Right, I have a job. I don't know what you do all the day, but I'm not on my phone all day. But when I'm here in front of my homeboys, Lewis, shout out to you, Cowboy fan. I said, oh, all my friends out here, they hear me. So that whole sometimes, man, I feel like people just want to make their own narrative to make themselves feel good. But if you are not one of our rivals, get off our nuts, please. I don't need that. So go back to you. Who do you think is going to win and why?
I'm not going to lie to you. I love both quarterbacks in it. I love Jalen Hurts. But I feel like my homeboy has something to prove. So,
what did he have to prove if he already won a Super Bowl? That's what I want to know. Like he already won a Super Bowl.
He lost.
But that's the thing about quarterback. I feel like you already won one
because they already try to overlook him with Joe Burrow, and then in the beginning of the season they was because Joe Burrow beat him 3 times, so they're trying to overlook him with Joe Burrow. In the beginning of the season, they were saying he was washed up because Josh Allen beat him. Last Super Bowl he got beat by 43-year-old Tom Brady. And he did horrible in that last Super Bowl. It was like 31-9. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's going in there with something to prove. I feel like him and Kelsey have something to prove because Tyreek left. And they're still getting to the Super Bowl the season after he left.
Pause that real quick. I will say, I feel bad for Kittle yesterday for the 49ers.
I love Kittle.
That man was open. He was dogging our DBs. He was open the whole game, but just couldn't get nobody the ball.
Couldn't get him the ball. So
Kittle, you did your thing last night. I give respect where respect is due. But no, what you said is true with the whole Kelsey and Mahomes thing. But for me, it's
I feel like another thing is a big story that's missing. Y'all fired Andy Reid.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all fired Andy Reid, and he gets to come back to play y'all. This is personal. This is really personal. Y'all fired that man. You know what I'm saying? And
But he went to greater pastures though.
And he got a Super Bowl, and then y'all got one too. But he still has that. Y'all let me go. Like, I almost didn't have a job. Y'all fired that man. He didn't want to leave Philadelphia.
But he got fired and went to the best scenario ever.
At that time, well, he got grown into that scenario. The Chiefs wasn't that when he got there.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't that when he got there. You know what I'm saying?
But that's one thing I will say. You know, I do feel like we did Andy Reid wrong. I was talking to one of my coworkers the other day.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I like Jalen Hurts is because he lasted the fire with the Eagles fans.
Yep.
Yasin, you owe him an apology.
What you say?
Oh yeah, like a year and a half ago, with the whole when Wentz was going away to the Colts and things like that.
Yeah,
he was saying like, "Oh, we made a mistake. Oh, Hurts is not proven. Like we should have traded Hurts and kept Wentz." I'm like, you want to keep the person who's emotionally unstable, and that's one thing about Philadelphia. You can't be emotionally unstable and be the quarterback there. Like you gotta have
the toughest media markets in the world.
Exactly. You gotta have some type of poise and some type of like grit to you. Yeah. And Wentz didn't have that. Like I'm not saying he was a bad quarterback, but he didn't have it. Right. And then Yasin was saying, I'm about to be a Colts fan and things like that. And then when we came back this year, right, started doing good. Oh, I'm not a believer. It took him until we was like 11-1 to where he be like, I'm a believer in Jalen Hurts now. And I've always been a believer in him. Can you know why? I feel like you always can know when somebody has that. Like with Wentz, I never felt that.
No,
I never did. I feel like he was good,
yeah,
but I never felt like he was the person that was going to take it to the Super Bowl. I felt like he was like the person that would take it to like the playoffs, maybe like he took out the first the first appearance. But like he wasn't like even like Nick Foles. Like when he was like in during that game, I felt a certain way about him when he played with Tom Brady for that Super Bowl. I was like, oh, he got something in the system right now. And with Jalen Hurts, I can just tell he has a chip on his shoulder that he doesn't express. You know what I'm saying? And those be the most deadliest ones. Like the people who be all flamboyant and talking and stuff like that. Those be the ones you'll be like, all right, I'm gonna look out for him. But Jalen Hurts, for some reason, I feel like we haven't even seen the best of him. You know what I mean? So
no, because he's still not that great at passing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's horrible because he missed A.J. Brown like 6 times yesterday.
He broke the QB rushing record yesterday for touchdowns.
No, I'm talking about passing.
I know. I was just saying.
Like, obviously he's going to do that. He's great at that. But he's going to have to pass that ball versus Kansas City.
I mean.
Because that front seven is nice.
Mahomes got to throw that ball too.
And he ain't got a problem doing that.
Like I said, that game ain't.
And y'all don't have. I'm going to tell you where the matchup is going to be. Y'all don't have nobody. And I say nobody. I don't care about, but he's on the outside, so I don't care about him. Y'all have nobody that can guard Kelsey. Not a soul. None of y'all linebackers cannot guard him. He's going to make them look crazy. So that's why I say the Chiefs going to beat y'all. And I say the score will be, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be 35. I say 35-32. Chiefs will beat y'all. 35-32. MVP would be my homeboy or Kelsey.
I'm not even going to speak on it because I really am big on on words. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to jinx my boys.
Nah, so. Speak on him. You know?
No.
Tell him what you were saying pre-pod about how it was going to be. Say what you said again.
What'd I say? What? Remind me.
Tell him.
No, remind me.
I'm talking a lot of shit in here, guys. Don't let him lie.
Bro, stop it. No. No, what I was saying was I think we was going to win. That's it. I don't have a prediction of us like going in there and going all crazy. I feel like it's going to be a good game.
I feel like Mahomes will be way better today. Well, in 2 weeks, then I feel like he has a lot more time to heal.
And imagine Jalen Hurts, yo. Imagine this dude over there is already been proven in the Super Bowl. Yep. And like you said, has a chip on the shoulder as well.
Yep.
To me,
because being that he got hurt, he's gonna lose that MVP now.
Yeah. To me, just watching them yesterday, I feel like they just don't have all their pieces. I feel like the Eagles defense as a whole will do enough, especially our front line, giving pressure onto Mahomes. Like Mahomes gonna have to be running the whole damn game to get it to Kelsey.
Yeah, but
how good is KC O-line?
Depends on what side. They're not. They're better than they were last year, but y'all O-line will be better. Y'all probably got the best O-line that was left in the playoffs.
It's going to be interesting. We beat the number one defense. That's why I'm confident in it.
I'm excited to see Kelsey versus Chris Jones, though.
Oh, yeah?
Y'all Kelsey versus that nose tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll be pretty decent.
You know what? Jason Kelsey's a cool dude, man.
He is. I would definitely like to have a conversation with him. He's really, I think just both of them in general, him and his brother. So they're just some cool people.
Can you imagine the mom? You saw the picture of the mom, like she had a jersey made for both of them.
It's hard.
It'd be fucked that she would have had just one. Like, nah, I'm rocking with it.
That's crazy.
I'm rocking with this. But that has to be the goal for like any mom to be proud to see their kid at the highest level.
Yeah, your son versus your other son in the Super Bowl. Like, how could you ask for more? That's amazing. All
right, so last question of the day: would you marry Mike Tyson's daughter for $10 million? Mary. He said he is willing to pay anybody $10 million to take his daughter off the market. Mind you, this is fake news. It's just a post I seen, but I thought it was interesting.
Mm-hmm. How long we gonna be married for?
So you're not gonna be to death do us part?
How long we gotta be married for?
To death do you part?
I need a couple more zeros behind that, Mike.
Come on, man. Wish she has a good personality, know how to cook.
I gotta wake up to that every day. Not that, Mike, no disrespect, big homie. You already know the deal. But nah, that's just not my speed. You know what I'm saying? 10 mil, I probably will and just get ghosts. Just go missing. Oh my God.
But then Mike Tyson gonna be in your ass.
He gonna have to catch me.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to mess with Mike Tyson, man. I wouldn't do it either. But I thought
he still got it. He still got it.
I thought it was interesting, but man, seeing how what some of my homeboys mess with, they might do it.
That is TravenMable, no real ass conversation show.
It's all on me.
Man.
But it's about to be 2 hours. I didn't want to keep you here for too long.
Damn, we've been potting for 2 hours?
Yeah, we've been potting for 2 hours, man.
Hey.
How do you enjoy it?
Man, listen, man. I love the setup, bro. Like, I never been on a live podcast, so I enjoyed it, man. Definitely some real ass conversation, like you're doing your thing, bro.
You want to get back on it again?
Oh yeah. Have a woman in here. We could do a little, you know what I'm saying,
I get a girl on here and a lot of my homegirls stop being scared of the camera. I'm tired of that.
They don't like the camera.
They like, give me like 2 weeks to get ready. I'm like, yo, 2 weeks ain't gonna change it, yo. Like, get on the damn camera. And I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying like a lot of my homegirls be beautiful and they
need the gunshots.
No. You making it worse than what it is. No. I said a lot of my girls are already beautiful and they be like what pisses me off is when they be like, I can't get on camera, and then that day they post a picture. On Instagram.
You are shooting.
Cause I get tired of this. Like, no, like listen, I wish I had some gunshots right now. Let's talk about it. There are so many people who I want to get on. And
what sound effects you got there so I can play around? What you got over here? Let me see what you got here. Go ahead. You finish talking. You talk to him. I'll finish it.
Nah, it's so many people who say they want to get on or that actually get on. Y'all give me bullshit reasons why you can't get on. Like, if it's about cosmetics, all of that, this is not the show for that. This is a show to get your thoughts off. And honestly, I don't hang up with no ugly people. You know what I mean? Like my all my family and friends look good to me.
Talk to them.
To me. So all I need is you guys to support.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So just get on the show. Stop being scared.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
It is. But I just want to say thank you for coming on to the show, bro.
Absolutely. No problem, bro. You already know, man.
I want you to pretty much drop your social media and promote yourself.
Oh, definitely. What
websites?
Is it gonna show on the screen? I ain't got a website.
No, everything will be on the screen. So yeah.
Oh, my Instagram is at dirty30 DIRTY 302 underscores at the end of that. The business, if you want some merch, and he got it right here. If you want some of the merch from the Cactus Fit World Changers. That's the brand. We pushing the lifestyle tees right now at Cactus Fit, CACTUSFITT. You know, be looking out for more reels, more content, travel vlogs, more collaborative videos and content coming soon. I'll be moving to Texas. I'm here now, so I'm not too far. So if you looking to,
what part of Texas you in?
I'm in Frisco.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in Frisco, Texas. You know, not that far out. But if you looking to get any content in, and I'm not just stuck to fitness, like I'm trying to do a lot more. You know, like doing more live videos and stuff like that. If you want to come and join, like I'm open to it. You know, so just let me know. But once again, it's Cactus Fit. It's the World Changers. You know, if you know, what's my saying? You know, what's my shit? Cactus Fit. Consistent actions cause true undeniable success for individuals that try. You know what I'm saying? If you cheat yourself, remember it's yourself you're cheating. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate everybody for watching. I hope you guys enjoy this new layout I have here. I'm going to keep getting better with the content. I'm excited for this video because I have so many editing things I'm going to add to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be real cool. So if you do have anything you want to promote, send it to me so I can make sure I put it on here for you.
Most definitely. I got you.
This isn't easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't easy.
Mm-hmm.
I do it because I really love it.
Yep.
And I hope it comes to this screen. I really want people to know that I put a lot of time and effort into this podcast because I care. And I want to make sure I get these good conversations up because I have a lot of good conversations. And I'm trying to get myself out there more into network. So, as I said earlier, if you are into content creating, if you are a content creator, let's work together. Like, I got a lot to offer. I know you got a lot to offer to me. So I really want to work with you guys. Just remember to follow me on all my social media platforms. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, all of that. I'm gonna have it all posted here. Like, doing that in 2 or 3 seconds mean the world to me. I need that exposure so I can get this good content out to other people in this world. My Patreon is patreon.com/RAC podcast.
Mm-hmm.
If you did want to become a patron, it costs as little as $3 to get exclusive content, and I will be giving out way more content. If you just want to do it the CashApp way, it's CashApp TravenMable. Please help me grow this podcast. I want to add more things to it. I want to add more headphones, better microphones, more lights.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a village.
Absolutely.
And I need you guys. You know what I'm saying? I really do. This is going to be like my last podcast of me really begging you guys like this.
Mm-hmm.
But if you did make it this far, just know I appreciate you. And I want you to always be real, especially with yourself. It's your boy, Trader Realist. Peace.